Yorkville Television is the place to tune in tonight as the hometown Yorkville Foxes clash with the Sycamore Spartans live from Campbell Field. The Foxes come in undefeated and looking to keep their perfect record intact. Last Friday, the Foxes used a huge second half to pull away from their opponent and complete a hard-fought road win in Morris, 34-21. The Spartans are 3-1 and looking for their fourth win of the season and to begin a new winning streak. Sycamore lost their first conference game by a field goal late last week on the road against undefeated DeKalb and lost 17-14. I am Jim Nowak, accompanied by Evan Wiseman, sitting in for Jim Gibbons. Temperatures tonight are in the mid-60s with a breeze from the north, bringing a slight chill in the air, starting to feel a little like fall. Sycamore head coach Joe Ryan brings his Spartans to Yorkville hoping for a victory tonight. They are trying to get back in the race in the East Conference of the Northern Illinois Big 12. After last week's late game loss, the Spartans are only allowing 8.5 points per game, while the Foxes are averaging 38.5 points per game, while only giving up 41 points all season. Yorkville head coach Dan McGuire brings his high-powered offense, wishing for a 5-0 start, as well as their second conference win of the season. This would be their best start since 2014, and that would make them playoff eligible. It's almost time for kickoff. Tough defense versus a high-octane offense. Will the Foxes become playoff eligible tonight at Campbell Field? Let's get Evan's thoughts.
Well, it looks like a great, like you mentioned, Northern Illinois Big 12 East face-off between the 3-1 Sycamore Spartans and the currently undefeated 4-0 Yorkville Foxes. They are looking for their best start since 2014, and I think if any team's going to do it, it's got to be this Foxes squad. Defensive powerhouse right now, only allowing 41 points against, having some very dominant second and third quarters, whereas the Spartans really rely on their first quarter and fourth opportunities. So it's really a shot-for-shot match. We've got two exciting defenses as we get set here for kickoff.
Kate Henry tees off the kick, and we are underway. Ball's received at the 10, ranked up the middle to the 20, up to the 25, where he is tackled about the 30-yard line, where the Spartans will take over.
Well, Dominguez, a talent on the special teams platform, taking a good 4 or 5 red jerseys with him, another 5 or 6 yards before he's finally pulled down.
So Sycamore comes out. Number 5, Grant McConkey, leads the team out. They'll be 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. Out of the pro set, ball's pitched to number 2, Connor Smith, who runs to his right for a couple of yards.
5'8", 170. He'll be a part of the class of 2019. Connor Smith, a force to be reckoned with on this Sycamore offense. Definitely see a lot of him today as the Spartans love to keep it on the ground.
So it'll be 2nd and 9 from the 33-yard line, and we'll see what the Spartans dial up on 2nd down. It's like they'll go out of the shotgun set. McConkey directing some traffic. And not happy with what he sees, and it looks like they'll haul a very early timeout.
Well, Yorkville's certainly a team that's good at adjusting. Something scary in the defense that the Spartans didn't like. McConkey, not exactly a veteran quarterback on the varsity level, but certainly knows what he's doing under center, and apparently saw something that he didn't like.
So they will touch base with the coach, and we'll see what they can dial up on 2nd down here.
150 points so far for the Spartans offense. So they are very accustomed to the end zone.
So it'll be 2nd and 9 as the Spartans go out of the shotgun. Ball is snapped. McConkey hands off the ball to the fullback, who's met. Oh, I'm sorry, he pulled back, and actually he ran it to his right for, looks like for about an 8-yard gain there. I was fooled on the play.
Well, you and a few red jerseys there. Great play action move on the right side. Saw space last second from his line and made some moves for the first down.
He actually did gain more than the 9 needed, so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Spartans at the 42-yard line.
Only their second game on the road, coming out looking very veteran so far. White jerseys powering down the field so far.
McConkey back under center. Ball's handed off up the middle, run to the left. Tackle that was number 24, Griffin Nelson, with a gain of 3 or 4.
24 Dominguez, the ball carrier, brought down by number 25, Taylor Reader.
Dominguez, the initial kick returner from the kickoff. You saw him power through a few red jerseys. Definitely expect to see that most of the night as he does it again on the gain of 5.
So Spartans trying to get across midfield. Second and short at 2nd and 5 from their own 47-yard line. Now back out of the shotgun. McConkey hands off to fullback number 32, Logan Egler, who powers for a couple of yards, short gain.
32, Logan Egler, the ball carrier.
Looks like he will pick up about 3 yards.
52, Jacob Power, second.
I checked that. I guess they took where the momentum stopped, and it'll be 3rd and 5 from their own 47-yard line.
Piasecki, quick read, pushing through, almost timed the snap perfectly to get into the backfield for the early disruption. Couldn't quite take down the Spartan run, but still did a successful job at disrupting it.
McConkey out of the shotgun, wide receiver in motion. Takes a handoff, sets up the screen to his right. He breaks a tackle and goes down the side to the 40, to the 35, down to about the 32, 33-yard line, and that will move the sticks once again for the Spartans as their offense is moving quite well early in the game.
Well, the Sycamore team, like mentioned earlier, they definitely dominate in the first and fourth quarters. They like to hit hard and drive far on the very first run, and they are doing that right here in Yorkville.
McConkey 1st and 10 from the Foxes 31. He calls his own number and runs it up the middle. Still going where he's met by a bunch of red-shirted defenders, and he'll be close to the first down on that long run.
Well, it's a little early in the game to start keeping the stat, but I'd love to see the initial yards after contact for these two backs for Sycamore. McConkey and Dominguez, both absolute powers running through the front line, taking multiple red jerseys with them.
Seems like the Spartans' offensive line kind of setting the tempo early as well. So it'll be 2nd and 1 from the 22, about 8.5 left in the first quarter. McConkey under center, hands it to his fullback, number 32, Logan Egler, with a short gain, might be enough for the first down. We'll see where they mark it.
That will be good for the first down. 3 men running for the Spartans and doing so effectively.
So it's 1st and 10 as they're inside the red zone for the first time at the Fox 17-yard line. McConkey out of the shotgun, calls his own number once again, runs to his right, eludes a defender, and is tackled by a pile of red shirts.
McConkey on the carry control with the stop.
Not afraid to lower his shoulder on the right side. Didn't quite get the block that he needed for those extra 5 or 6 yards he was looking for past the secondary. Great job by Yorkville defense to shift left and see the open space he was trying to take, but some also a good amount of credit to McConkey for lowering his shoulder and really getting in there for the extra yards.
So it's 2nd and 5 from the 12. Another running back in motion. Ball's handed off to the left, breaks up the middle, and he will be close to a first down. It looked like that was number 24, Dominguez, once again. And that'll be close to a first down. We'll see where that's marked.
Yorkville's just got to be so careful, that when they're making moves right down the middle, they'll definitely push in and stack the defensive line, but that's when you saw that little quick overpass that worked so well earlier down the field about 3 plays ago.
So 1st and goal at the 6. Ball's handed off up the middle to the fullback, 32, Logan Egler, who goes nowhere, and it looks like that'll be a no gain, maybe even a loss of 1. Fox is all over that run.
Very well read. Did a great job by the secondary to shed blocks and be able to make it into the backfield to stop the run.
So that was no gain. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 6. And we'll see what McConkey and the team dial up here. Under center, 2 running backs in the backfield. Wide receiver in motion. Ball's faked, handoff. It's passed to his left as the wide receiver dives into the end zone for a Spartan touchdown. That was number 2, Connor Smith. And there are no flags on the field, so the Spartans draw first blood with a touchdown and take the lead 6-0.
I mentioned before a few plays ago, Yorkville Foxes just got a little too comfortable trying to stop the run right there at the front line as the Sycamore Spartans did a decent amount of damage down the field running through past their linemen. Oh, and it's a fake out.
Looks like on the high snap they tried to do a little trickeration. Josh Burns on the snap threw the pass high and out of the end zone, so it's no good. So it'll be 6-0 Sycamore after their first drive. So that drive of 68 yards converts to pay dirt, and it is 6-0 Sycamore with Yorkville getting the ball for the first time.
My apologies.
Impressive drive.
I was going to say, down at my stats, trying to just make sense of it all. The Spartans took one of the best defenses here in the Big 12 for a ride, just making a very strong drive down the field. Yorkville getting a little bit too comfortable trying to stop the run in the center, and it came back to bite them on not one but 2 plays. The initial one at about the 30, at their own 30-yard line, as well as the touchdown play itself, where they just don't expect the initial run, or they expect the initial run, I should say, and instead they see a short pass.
So it looks like it's number 23, Torrin Harris, and number 22, Zach Katula, back for the Foxes. Quarterback as well as place kicker Grant McConkey will be kicking off for the Spartans. He puts it down the middle. It's received by Zatula at the 25 up to the 30, up to the 35-yard line with about a 15-yard return, where the Foxes will take over at their own 35-yard line.
Katula, listed as a defensive back, 6 foot 180. You'll see him returning most of Yorkville, both punts and kicks. Normally relies on his speed around the corners, left and right side, so it's a very interesting game plan when you see him trying to go through center and run through defenders. It's rare that he does, but when he does, he can occasionally be stood up. But,
so Josh Beetham out of the shotgun with Torrin Harris to his right. Wide receiver in motion. Ball's handed off to Torres up the middle. He runs to his left with a short gain of about 3 to 4 yards.
I was going to say Harris coming in with a similar play style, very quick on either sideline. You'll see him definitely trying to break for daylight and utilize his speed to get away from defenders.
Very low center of gravity and tough to take down. So it'll be 2nd and 7 at the Foxes' 38-yard line. 2 running backs in the backfield. Beetham out of the shotgun. Ball snap, handoff up the middle. Where the fullback is met for a minimal gain. That fullback, number 30, Brandon Lee, on the run.
Brandon Lee been the starter for the Yorkville fullback position all season so far. The outlier I was looking at is 34, Jacob Brooks, not on the field for today. He was a dominant force in the pregame report that we'd see a lot of him, and instead we've got the backup Harris trying to make a point.
So 3rd and 6 from their own 39-yard line out of the shotgun. Spartans show blitz. It's picked up. Beetham flushed out to his right. He's got to dump off a pass, and that'll go incomplete to his wide receiver, number 19, Brady Mispagel. So that'll bring up 4th and 6, and I expect to see the special teams come out for Yorkville.
Well, they've got a talented kicker, Cole Reby. Pretty accurate. I mean, for IHSA high school level, he's definitely up there in his kick accuracy. We'll see it proven here.
Number 15, Gavin Crowfoot, with the return. He gets it from the 25 to the 30. He breaks to his right and he's got running room. He goes to the 45 where he is taken down there. So a very solid return for the Spartans, and they seem to have the momentum going here with 5:05 early in the first half and a 6-0 lead.
Well, Yorkville only letting up 41 points over the season. Their last, 3 of their last 4 opponents were held to only a touchdown, but last 3 of the 4 opponents definitely did not look as strong as this Spartan team does right now. Coming out of the gate, firing early and often.
Off to a quick start. We'll see what that penalty was. I missed the flag. Looks like they're going to move them back. I'm assuming it's either holding or illegal block in the back, but they're going to move them back and negate that excellent kickoff return that had them almost to midfield. So it looks like they will be backed up to their own 23-yard line. So a costly penalty there, but they will start 1st and 10 at their own 23 and see if they can have another long drive. McConkey out of the shotgun, runs up the middle. Looks like there's a flag. Looks like he'll get about a gain of 5, but we'll see what the call on the field is.
It appeared to be a jump start on Sycamore. I could be mistaken. The Spartans right now are a decently young team. A lot of juniors on this squad, as well as a few sophomores that are currently on the field. So expect the occasional mistake, but a lot of athleticism. Obviously, there's a lot of people here trying to prove a point of why they should be on the field, and they do a great job at it. But again, with a lot of juniors, unfortunately, you see a lot of kids who are on their first year as varsity, and unfortunately, that then leads to the occasional mistake, as we've seen in the last 2 plays.
Sure.
That can come back to hurt teams, sometimes fatally.
So that'll set up Spartans 1st and 15 at their own 18-yard line. We'll see what McConkey does out of the shotgun here. Wide receiver in motion, ball is hand off, and he calls his own number yet again, right up the middle. It looks like he will get about a gain of 5 to 7 yards. Looks like that is a gain of 7, so it'll be 2nd and 8, and they'll be marked at their own 25-yard line. So again, the running game up the middle, very solid. Spartans offensive line dictating a little bit of pace here so far.
Well, that's the first time in that play action that McConkey decided to call his own number and came up with less than 10 yards. The last 2 times that he did it, he went 4 first downs immediately.
He calls his number once again, and the Foxes are not fooled this time as they meet him at the line for a minimal gain.
Old famous broadcaster's jinx as soon as you bring it up, and then of course it... But I expect that play definitely over the rest of the night, as McConkey is a very heads-up player, is able to make adjustments in that offense pretty quickly with minimal stumble.
And you will see that read option a lot. A very common play at high school. Very common in all of football, actually.
That can be very dangerous if you use it wisely. Right now, it is working effectively against Yorkville.
Correct. McConkey out of the shotgun, looks at his left. He's flushed out. There's a flag on the field. And the ball is dumped off to number 3, Justin Berlinski, who gets a couple yards, maybe even enough for the first down. But with the flag in the backfield, we'll see what that call is. When you see a flag in the backfield like that, you think holding right away, but it looks like there's multiple flags. So let's see how the referees sort all this out.
So I think the initial conversation that they had, I'm not good at lip reading, but I believe it was 74 on a hold in the backfield there against Sycamore. They may be waving the second flag.
And we'll see if that's actually offsetting penalties, or if that's exactly what we'll see is holding. And it looks like that's the case, as they are marching the football much further back for the Spartans. They'll drop that ball back at the 21-yard line. Actually, 11-yard line, excuse me. It'll be 3rd and 22.
Well, started the drive at 3rd and 15, first and 15. Now you're back at 3rd and 22. Every hard-fought yard is now useless.
Ball handed off up the middle for minimal gain to the, looks like the fullback, number 32, Logan Egler. Minimal gain, and that'll be 4th and long And I suspect we will see the Sycamore special teams.
I would agree. They are a team known to have some fun on the special teams end. Excuse me. Some trickery definitely in the Spartans playbook. And but it looks like this one just might be too risky. Looks like they're going to be sending it yard.
Solid snap. Kick is up. Looks like it's about midfield. It'll take a Spartan roll and go out of bounds. About the 44-yard line. So it looks like Yorkville defense held, and they will actually benefit by the good field position here as they'll start out at the Spartan 43-yard line.
Yorkville with a great opportunity to prove their 4-0 record here as they need to get on the board.
So as they're on the Spartan side of the field, Josh Beathan out of the shotgun. Two wide receivers to his left, one to his right. Ball snap. Ball's handed off up the middle. Looks like that'll be about a 3 or 4 yard gain for number 23, Torian Smith. Oh, I take it back. That was number 30, Brandon Lee. Be a short gain. It'll be, looks like 2nd and 4 from the 37-yard line. So 2nd and 4 as the Foxes are in business with about 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Beatham out of the gun again. Fakes the handoff. Dumps it off to his wide receiver. That was number 30. That's the fullback, Brandon Lee. And that looks like that's enough yardage for a first down for the Foxes.
Lee with 2 great plays so far. Senior right now, fullback listed. Can move in a wide receiver, kind of a tight end move a little bit there to some success on a 5-yard gain.
Will be 1st and 10 from the 32. Ball is snapped. Hand off the middle. Torrin Smith goes right up. Short gain. Gain of 3 or 4. Yorkville seemed to get a little bit of momentum now on offense, moving the ball pretty well.
Well, they definitely feel good. I am going to question a little bit the Teran Harris run up the middle, low center of gravity, a very strong runner for sure, but I mean, we've seen his legs and we've seen him be tested over the last few plays. I feel like maybe a pitch outside may prove a little bit more yardage. I think they should utilize the speed that he definitely has.
Ball handed off up the middle again for no gain as 4 white-shirted Spartans are there to meet him.
I was mentioning Brandon Lee earlier, 5'9", 220 senior, knows what he's doing on this varsity level. He's certainly the powerhouse if you want to try to get yards in the center of the field.
So let's see if the Foxes are thinking like you're thinking as they have 3rd and 5 from the Spartan 27-yard line with about 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Ball snap. Beathan looks to his right. The pass is incomplete. Could have been a 50-50 ball. Didn't look like there was a pass interference there. Intended target was number 5, Brock Grimaldi, and it'll bring out the special teams.
That's something that goes really
for a long field goal here.
Really underappreciated on the defense of the Spartans is their ability to kind of check up on wide receivers who may be causing them some issues. So those first 5 yards, you'll see some pretty fierce contact to try to knock the receiver off their route. Very textbook, solid football.
Cade Henry up for the field goal. Looks like it'll be wide left. And there will be no points on the board for Yorkville. They'll turn over on downs, and Sycamore will have the ball with about 20-plus seconds left in the first quarter.
Well, we're certainly getting what we thought we would on paper. Like you mentioned, it's really going to be Sycamore's offense versus Yorkville's defense, and whoever can really step up in these first few moments of the game. Obviously, scoreboard 6-0 in favor of the Spartans, but right now I think it's still a very, very close matchup and will probably maintain so for the rest of the game.
Ball's handed off to the right. Number 32, Logan Egler, goes to his right. Looks like he will get a decent gain of about 4 or 5 yards, and that may be the last play of the first quarter. So it's a 5-yard gain, so it'll be 2nd and 5. And as the gun sounds, that's the end, or the horn sounds, excuse me, that's the end of the first quarter. Exciting action so far, relatively fast pace. Sycamore Spartans lead 6-0 over the Yorkville Foxes. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to the second quarter, where the Sycamore Spartans lead the Yorkville Foxes here at Campbell Field, 6-0. Spartans will have the ball on the north side of the field, starting 2nd and 5 at their 35-yard line, at their own 35-yard line. So exciting first quarter so far. 1 touchdown, 1 missed field goal, as the Foxes almost got into the red zone.
Well, looking so far, game's pretty much how we thought it would be on paper. A dominant first half from the Spartans. Let's see if we get the dominant second half from Yorkville.
Looks like there's a fumble on the play as they run to the right. We're waiting to see a signal, and it looks like Yorkville has recovered, and they will take over in Spartan territory. So a huge turn of events for the Foxes, and they will take over at the Spartan 25-yard line after that fumble.
I'm sorry, correction meant second quarter, but point I was making earlier is the fact that the Foxes love to come out in a second quarter and make a point, and I think that's the quickest that they have all season. An immediate fumble on the first play, second quarter.
So they're back in control. Ball's pitched to the left. Torrin Harris is met by 4 Spartan defenders, and that will be a minimal gain. Depending where it's spotted, actually may be a loss of a yard. But again, excellent field position for the Foxes. They've been on the Sycamore side of the field twice already this evening.
Well, the initial one we saw, their second drive of the game, started them off on the 23-yard line, and unfortunately wound up with a missed field goal.
And the pass by Beetham is incomplete.
Jason Hayes, the linebacker, 6'1", 185, a tower at the high school level, was able to disrupt that pass midway through its trajectory.
Looks like Beetham was going for his tight end, Brady Fisher, and he missed him. So we'll see now that it's 3rd and 11, what they dial up here to get some momentum downfield early in the second quarter. Beetham out of the shotgun, Harris to his left, trips right, fades back, dumps a pass to Harris over the middle, who blocks one, drops a defender and gets extra yardage. Looks like he may have enough for the first down. And that will be enough to move the sticks. And that will get the Foxes in the red zone for the first time this evening.
That was a fantastic play call, utilizing Harris in his best way. And he just took off downfield left, ran into the secondary there for the Spartans, but great play call and great maneuvering.
Yeah, great speed and agility. Looks like the Spartans will blitz. The pass is caught. That's to number 5, Brock Grimaldi, and that will get the Foxes down inside the 10-yard line, where it'll be 2nd and 5 from the 5-yard line. So they still, I guess it's 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line, as the Foxes are knocking on the door.
I would expect right up the middle, utilize a strong fullback.
And they do the strong fullback blocking, as you said, but Harris is met quickly by number 40, Grayson Burns, for minimal gain, which will bring up 3rd and 5.
Harris with a great cut immediately, but it's tough for someone of his size to be able to get around a defender like that.
So Beethan lines up out of the shotgun one more time. Harris to his left. 3rd and goal from the 5. He's looking to his right. He pulls the ball in. He decides to run it, and he is tackled right before he could have broke into the end zone by number 44, Preston Rudd.
Well, tried to stretch and came up about 5 yards short of that. There's panic for the first time that I've seen in the veteran quarterback.
And it looks like that will bring out the special teams for what should be a short field goal, about a 21-yard attempt for number 3, Cade Henry.
Josh Beadham certainly knows what he's doing under center, but you can definitely tell he's a junior. Certain panic situations like that where the line just collapses, it's tough to react.
Snap is true. Kick by Henry is up and good, and that is that'll cut the Sycamore score in half. As it is now Sycamore 6 and Yorkville 3. So a good drive. They benefited from the great field position. Although I will say the Spartans defense held close to the goal line, and that's a win for them. So we'll see, like you said, it's been a very evenly matched game. We will see what the second quarter entails from here.
There's some beautiful play calling up until they reached the 5-yard line. And I just think there was a little bit of panic. Got some happy feet looking for the end zone on the Yorkville side. Definitely should have ran the fullback, Brandon Lee, up the middle. When you look at his yardage over the season, it's almost a guaranteed on that 5 yards. I think Yorkville tried to be a little sneaky instead of just utilizing athleticism.
Looks like number 24, Dominguez, and number 15, Crowfoot are back. As Cade Henry kicks off. Short kick, received at the 32-yard line. Looks like a fair catch was waived. A fair catch was called for and waived, but it was not by the guy who received the ball. So I'm not sure if that will be a penalty. I do see a flag on the field. We'll see what the referees decide on that.
I may be mistaken, but I believe you're correct. It should be a 5-yard for
I guess it'd be
a legal procedure. Yeah.
What I think they would call. As they powwow, we'll see what the call will be.
Certainly something I haven't seen in a long ever. Actually, I think that would probably be my first one in my broadcasting career.
So it is against the Spartans, as we suspected. We're seeing if we'll have a call, or maybe just we're going to assume that a legal procedure is the correct call on that, and that it's going to march them back 5 yards, as you said.
So from the spot of the catch, it will be 5 yards. Still not a bad return.
So with the 5-yard penalty tacked on, the Spartans start 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line. Conkey out of the shotgun, hands the ball to number 32, Logan Edler, who will have minimal gain up the middle.
32 Edler, the ball carrier.
You can tell Yorkville's getting a little bit comfortable. They're coming up to the line a little bit closer. They're jumping the snap right on time. I think we're about to see Yorkville really dig in, make a good stop. I'm going to knock on wood before I accidentally jinx the home team here, but it really does look like the defense is starting to feel comfortable.
Yes. Yeah, early the Spartan line was dominating. We don't see that as much anymore. As McConkey calls his own number and goes to his left for a 3 or 4 yard gain. Looks like that'll bring up 3rd and 5, so 3rd and short from their own 33-yard line. We'll see what they dial up here.
A lot of the big guys don't get a lot of credit. I want to give a good shout out to Josh Salvin, number 71 on the line. The classic textbook 2 guys wrap up, so he went in there as the 3rd man, tried to go for the strip, and didn't come up with it, but still some great textbook football.
So 3rd and 5, McConkey out of the shotgun, looks to his left, and the pass is slightly short and incomplete to his intended target, Logan Egler. And at 4th and 5, we will see the Spartan special teams come out.
Moving into punt formation.
Looks like number 23, Griffin Nelson, will be back to kick inside his own 20, and number 22, Zach Katula, stands at his own 25 waiting for the kick. Kick is up, it's a high kick. He waves everyone off as it takes a road team roll. It looks like that Spartan roll will help them out as it goes out about the 23-yard line of the Foxes, where they will take over with their 4th drive of the evening and of the first half.
You know, looking over the past 4 games, I wouldn't really want to kick to Katula either. Some speed around the corners. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with.
So with 7:47 left in the half, Foxes have the ball at their own 23-yard line. We'll see what they dial up this time. Beetham out of the shotgun, Harris to his right. Ball is snapped. Beetham looks to his right. Hits the receiver. Looks like it'll be about a 5-yard gain. It looks like that was number 9, Cole Ferguson, the sophomore. Looks like that'll be about a 6-yard gain, so it'll be 2nd and short for the Foxes at their own 29-yard line.
Josh Beetham looking very comfortable in that 4 wide receiver set. They might be utilizing that a bit here in the second quarter.
We'll see that as they got two to his left, 1 to his right. Out of the shotgun once again. Ball snap, handed off to Harris, who dodges to his right and then cuts up the middle. Looks like he will be very close to a first down. May have gotten those 4 needed yards. They are waving the chain gang along, so that looks like that'll be enough for a first down for the Foxes, and they're in business with 7:04 left in the first half.
Well, we've seen Yorkville the last 2 drives look great the first 2 or 3 plays, and then just make a few too many errors. Let's see if they've learned. Definitely a second quarter team, as we've seen, averaging 14.5 points per game in the second quarter.
Beetham out of the shotgun, dumps off a pass. Intended target there was number 33, Trey Thomas, the junior.
Number 11, Kyle Antos. Credited with the stop for
Looks like
Sycamore.
Kyle Antos, number 11 for Sycamore with the tackle. And it's 2nd and short once again for the Foxes as it's 2nd and 4 from their own 39-yard line. Again, 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 2 runners in the backfield. Beetham out of the shotgun. Ball's handed off up the middle. And they will be close to a first down yet again on 2nd down, maybe 3rd and short. As that was a run by number 30, Brandon Lee. Looks like it's about a gain of 3.
3rd and run.
Coming up 3 feet shy. That fullback push, though,
So
you're gaining 3 or 4 yards per play. I mean, you're going to win a ball game.
3rd and short, very favorable for the Foxes as they continue their march. Let's see if they can pick up another set of downs here. Ball's handed off to Harris, who goes to his right and just may get a little bit of second effort to get that first down.
Brought down by number 1, Dylan Lazaro.
And
Goes out to the play.
that is enough yardage that will get them a first down.
We're going to talk about it.
Oh,
Harris, quick feet, And no, it will be a first down.
We are seeing the chain gang move. They hesitated for a second. I thought they may have second guessed.
I was about to mention it, and then I had to second guess myself there.
Beetham out of the shotgun. Pitches to his running back, Harris. Runs to his left, and looks like he may have enough yardage close to the first down.
That's where we really see Torrin Harris excel when he wraps around the left, just utilizing the quick feet, low center of gravity. He danced 2 or 3 white jerseys away from a tackle. Made a great run.
And that gain of 8 will bring it to 2nd and 2 as the Foxes are on the Spartan side of the field yet again. 2 wide receivers to the left. 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left as well. Ball snap, hand off to Harris as he runs to his right. He breaks through and he's going down to the 30, to the 40, down to the 35-yard line. And that'll be a long run. That'll move the ball and the chains once again for the Foxes, as that's another first down as they are now to the Sycamore Spartan 35-yard line.
This is where football gets really fun. You saw the Spartans come out and play very comfortably in the run game in the first quarter. Yorkville a little hesitant on offense. Now you're seeing Beetham step in on the 4 wide receiver slot. Now you're seeing Harris get comfortable in the run game and finding the holes that he needs. This is where football gets good. This is where these two teams are really going to clash.
Beetham out of the shotgun on first down, fakes the handoff, passes to his left, and immediately tackled there to Harris. Looks like that's a gain of close to 8 or 9, almost for the first down. We'll see where that ball is marked. Should bring up 2nd and short. Looks like that was a 7-yard gain, so it's 2nd and 3 at the 28-yard line of the Spartans. Yorkville offense moving well in this second quarter. Beetham out of the shotgun. Hands off to his fullback. Looks like he might have enough for the first down, or he's very close. It'll bring up 3rd and short, as that was number 30, Brandon Lee, with the run. So that'll bring up 3rd and 1 from the 26-yard line. We will see what the Foxes have in the playbook here to keep this drive going and get inside the red zone.
If I had to make the call, I'd say 30, Brandon Lee, right up the middle. Utilize the strong man that you've got in the backfield.
He is the farthest back, and I think that's what the Foxes are thinking. Ball's handed off to Lee. As said, met by the Spartans, and I'm not sure if he's got enough for the first down. It'll be very close. We'll see what the marker is.
Well, the unfortunate part about me being correct is odds are the opposing defensive coordinator has already come to that conclusion.
Looks like that was no gain, so it'll be 4th and 1, and it's gamble time for the Foxes. We'll see if they're going to go for it. You would think that they have the momentum. About 3 minutes left in the half that they will go for it. It looks like that's what they will do, as they line up with 3 running backs in the backfield. Harris and Lee back there as well. Ball's handed off up the middle to the fullback, and we'll see if Brandon Lee has enough for the first down. It looks like he does. Let's see where the ball is spotted.
It does look like it's going to be a first down.
As the crowd chants first down, the Foxes will have 1st and 10 at the Spartan 24-yard line, and will continue this long drive. Beetham in the backfield, Beetham in the shotgun, Harris in the backfield on his left. Ball snap, Beetham looks to his right, and the pass is off the target to his intended target. Looks like that was maybe number 10, Nick Stemmet. We'll see. That was incomplete. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 with 2:46 left in the half.
Well, now that the weather's getting a little cold, you can just tell that there's a little discomfort on the throw. I think a bit of a lack of confidence on it, but Beetham right back into the gun. Expect a similar play.
1 wide receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Tight end in motion. Fake to the running back and a quick screen, incomplete, as the play did not develop where they thought. Number 30, Brandon Lee, was the intended target. That brings up 3rd and 10 for the Foxes.
Great job
at the Spartan 24.
linebacker Jason Hayes getting into the backfield quick to disrupt that, although a little careful on taking down the quarterback post-throw. A lot of players getting in trouble for that nowadays.
Yeah, it looked like that was good Spartan pressure, which may have had that throw a little early there.
Well forced.
Beetham out of the shotgun. They bring pressure from the left. He's pressured as he throws the pass and needles the thread right to his wide receivers who go down to the goal line. That's number 81, Brady Fisher. Looks like they will spot that about the 1 yard line. I wasn't sure if he got in, but that'll be a huge gain of 23 yards as his first and goal from the 1 yard line. Huge, big play for the Foxes. And now they are knocking on the door with 2.5 left in the half.
Crazy threaded needle, great play call. Wide receivers ran routes perfectly. Yorkville deserves every yard they got on that run, or throw.
And big pressure that came from the left by the Spartans, and he was able to utilize just enough time to get that pass off. And timeout for the Foxes. That's their first of the half. And it's been a very exciting first half.
Well, this is the team that we're used to over the last 4 games. 154 points with only 41 against. I mean, when you look at some of the games that they played earlier in the year, Yorkville beating Centralia 56-7, McHenry 24-7, Kankakee 40-6. This team is in a very uncomfortable situation, down only 3. They're so used to scoring early and often, and they're so used to being comfortable on the offensive end. I think we're finally seeing Yorkville play Yorkville football now here in the second quarter.
And it's interesting that you brought that up because at the game in Centralia, they were tied at 7-7 before they exploded for 7 straight touchdowns unanswered. Like you said, they were down, they got comfortable, and now you see their offense take over. We'll see what they're going to do here with 2:24 left in the first half.
Once you see the Foxes start warming up, you kind of got to buckle up and start doing damage control. It's going to be a real test on Spartans' defense.
In a long, sustained drive here, let's see if they can hit pay dirt, hand it off up the middle. Looks like Brandon Lee was denied up the middle and then tried to spin to his right. Looks like that was no gain right there. Maybe even a loss of 1. So it'll be second and goal from the 2 for the Foxes. So they tried the power game, did not work. We will see what's dialed up on second and goal from the Spartan 2 yard line. Beaton out of the shotgun. Scoots Harris over to his right. Ball's handed off up the middle. Lee blocking for Harris. Looks like that'll be no gain again as the Spartans were not fooled and ready for that run up the middle.
Certainly some deja vu for Yorkville as the first 2 plays they called ended very similarly to the last time they were in the red zone, ending in their only 30 points of the day. So they at least know they have a reliable 3 points, if it does come to that. But obviously, point to be were to get into the end zone.
They're going to do some clock management here as they're going to try to run down the clock too to be able to get less time for the Spartans if they get the ball back in the second half. Beetham under center. Spartans pressure up the middle. There's that speed we saw to Harris to the left, and he will get in the end zone for a touchdown.
Absolutely gorgeous. Torrin Harris around on the pitch. Beetham put it right on the money. And we saw Harris absolutely take off around the corner, beating 2 Spartans purely by speed, and he's in the end zone for 6.
And as you said, you wanted to see that speed come out. They lulled him to sleep with the plays up the middle, and then off to the left, quick Harris run for 6.
I must just be impatient because clearly Yorkville knows Harris has that speed, and when they need to utilize it, I wanted him to do it immediately, of course. But they knew the perfect time, and it winds up for 6 points, now 7 with the extra point.
The kick is up and true, and Yorkville has their first lead of the night with 56.3 seconds left in the first half as they take the lead 10-6. And we'll see if the Spartans have an answer with less than a minute in the first half.
So something that I was looking at a little earlier in the game is the fact that Yorkville, the way that they've been playing, with a victory tonight, may crack the top 50 high school teams in Illinois. If they win tonight, they will also remain undefeated 5-0. And with a loss for DeKalb, if DeKalb ends up losing in the conference, Yorkville will lead the conference for the first time since 2014.
And if they win tonight, they will also be playoff eligible too.
Yes, sir.
So, lot at stake here. We'll see what they're going to do with less than a minute left in the first half as Cade Henry lines up the ball from the Yorkville 40-yard line. Looks like number 15, Gavin Crowfoot, is back, as well as number 24, Manuel Dominguez. Kind of a pooch kick. Looks like that might roll out of bounds. Picked up by number 4, Brock Alexander. And he is taken down right away with the tackle, number 25, Cale Reeder, there on the stop. Penalty marker on the field. We'll see what that call is. Looks like that is block in the back against Sycamore, and that'll move them further back. And what may stalemate their last minute drive here before the first half.
Well, there's something to be said for the fact that the first drive that the Spartans made for their first touchdown, they had no penalties. So far, they have had at least one flag per drive since, and have been stopped short in at least 8 plays.
Yeah, penalty-free. Let me try that again. Excuse me. Penalty-free football on their first drive. They've had some trouble since, so they will start 1st and 10 at their own 14 with about 50 seconds left in the first half. McConkey under center.
Seems to be a...
It's like they're one guy short on the field, as now the Spartans are ready with two running backs in the backfield. Ball's handed off up the middle. Looks like that'll be a 4 or 5 yard gain for the Spartans. Looks like that was Manuel Dominguez with the run.
Still playing with his helmet a little bit. I wonder if there was somewhat of an equipment malfunction.
Could be.
Causing the short stoppage in play.
So 2nd and short, Dominguez in motion again, gets the hand up and goes to his left. Looks like he might have enough for the first down. We'll see where they mark that. Looks like that's enough for a first down with about 16 and a half seconds left in the first half. Clock starts again, and we'll see if McConkey will have one more play. He hands off to the fullback, and the Foxes are not fooled there, as that is a minimal gain, and that looks like that'll be enough for the half right there. So the horn sounds in an exciting second quarter as Yorkville storms back with 10 points unanswered to Sycamore, and at halftime, they lead 10-6, and we'll be back with second half action in a bit. Back to second half action here from Campbell Field, where the Yorkville Foxes lead the Sycamore Spartans 10-6 in an exciting first half. The first quarter was all Sycamore, where they marched down and scored early on their first drive, and then in the second quarter, it was all Yorkville as their offense took over and put up 10 unanswered points as they lead 10-6 going into the second half. Evan, any scores for us as well?
Well, currently, if we're looking around the conference, the only one that I've got the current update for is really the important one we've been watching tonight, DeKalb-Caneland. DeKalb currently leading 13-7 over the Caneland Knights. The reason DeKalb is important is that is the only other undefeated team currently in the Big 12, and Yorkville's really sole competition if we're looking at the first playoff spot to come out of the Big 12. So a loss from DeKalb means that Yorkville, and a Yorkville win, will mean that Yorkville tops out at the top of the conference for the first time since 2014. If DeKalb wins and Yorkville falls, DeKalb will have the spot of top of the conference for the third year in a row coming into the middle of the season.
Ball's received on the right at the kickoff, and it was brought up about 10 yards up as number 22, Zach Katula, runs that back as Yorkville will start out with the ball in the second half, their first time, as they deferred and they won the toss and deferred for the second half. So we'll have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line to start the second half.
Yorkville definitely playing their style of football here. They got 3 wide.
Pass is a little high to Torrin Harris, who can't hold on to it, and that pass drops incomplete. As Yorkville looked like they were ready to go quickly on that. A little high on the pass, ended up as incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10 from their own 31-yard line.
Yorkville really good at utilizing all its moments in the second and third quarters. Definitely really control the middle of the game, so let's see what they can do here.
Tight end in motion, lines up in the middle. Ball's handed off to Harris. He goes to his left, breaks a tackle, spins, still on his feet. Looks like he'll gain a couple. Long bruising run for about 2 or 3 yards. We'll bring up 3rd and long.
Expect to go to the air again, especially as Brandon Lee steps off the field. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. That's 3rd and 7 now from the 34-yard line. We'll see if they do go to the air. That screen pass was very effective in the first half. We'll see if we see that same play. 2 wide receivers to Beetham's left, 2 to his right as well. Out of the shotgun. Spartans pressure. Beetham looks to air it out deep to his right and overshoots his target. As defense was in quickly on that. Number 81, Brady Fisher, was the intended target. We'll bring a 4th down and a quick 3 and out for the Foxes. They will punt for the first time in the second half.
Quick 4 and outs. Not what they wanted to see, but there's enough confidence in the Yorkville defense, especially after the last outing that we saw, as they took on the Sycamore offense, held them, even though it started on the 28-yard line.
Yorkville kick is in the air. It's over Gavin Crowfoot's head, and he will run back to get it. We'll see if it's going to hit the end zone or if Yorkville's going to be able to stop it. It looks like it did cross over the goal line. A valiant effort by the Foxes, but they could not get there in time, and that will be into the end zone. 1st and 10 for the Spartans in their first drive of the second half from their own 20-yard line.
I believe that was Joseph Trice using his wheels to make it down to the end of the field. Senior move, trying to keep the ball out of the end zone. Credit where credit is due. Yorkville certainly knows what they're doing special teams-wise.
Excellent attempt, just could not get there. Very close, very, very close. So Sycamore comes out with their first possession. Wide receiver in motion. McConkey calls his own play. It is dropped quickly, as the Foxes were not fooled by that at all. Looks like it was number 10, Nick Stemmet, in on the play for no gain. Maybe even a loss of a yard.
Yorkville just clearly did its homework before it stepped out onto the field tonight. First quarter, I'll give it to the Spartans because they are just such a strong running team, very talented on that play action, but I mean, Yorkville has just brought the switch run, the action run, to a screeching halt for the Spartans.
So we'll see what they do on 2nd and 11 from their own 19. Wide receiver in motion. Ball is fake handoff, and McConkey runs to his right and will stay out on his feet for extra yardage. And it looks like we'll have enough for a first down as he brings it down to the 38-yard line. Looks like he'll have enough for the first down. Big gain for the Spartans, and it'll be 1st and 10.
Robert Mallon, Hunter Cash for the Spartans, 2 linemen creating a huge hole for McConkey to get through. I feel like that was definitely the base of the successful run there.
And that was a long gain of 20 yards, and that'll put it 1st and 10 at the Spartan 39-yard line. McConkey now under center. Ball is pitched to number 2, Connor Smith, who runs to his right for minimal gain.
Connor Smith, the ball carrier.
Which will bring up 2nd and 8 from their own 41-yard line. As 2 running back substitute come in for the Spartans on 2nd and 8 from their own 41-yard line.
Quick equipment timeout.
Oh, a shoe tie. There we go. We may have had that helmet malfunction in the first half. We're going to have a shoe tie here in the second half.
You just got such hard-hitting players, some great athletes running out of their shoes, running out of their helmets.
2nd and 8 out of the shotgun. Ball's handed off to the fullback. And again, Nick Stemmet in the backfield, not fooled at all as he dropped number 32, Logan Egler, for a loss.
Junior, listed as a wide receiver, has proved why he plays both sides of the ball with these last few plays. A wonderful tackle for a loss on that. Sending him back a good 5 yards. Well read. Great defensive play calling. Great heads-up play by the Yorkville Foxes.
So 3rd and long, and we'll see what McConkey and team has drawn up for this 3rd and long play. Wide receiver in motion. 2 to his left. He looks to his right, rolls out. Pass is high and incomplete to intended target number 3, Justin Berlinski. And that'll bring up 4th and long for the Spartans, and we'll expect to see the special teams for them.
So McConkey will stick around, though. He'll be punting.
Number 23, Griffin Nelson.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nelson now out onto the field. We saw McConkey try to pull the punts in a few plays earlier in the game.
Big pressure, but the ball is punted away. And Zach Catula will let that roll out of bounds, and we'll see where that ball is marked. Looks like it'll be spotted about the 38-yard line of the Foxes, where they will have their second possession of the second half. So as we expected to see more of the high-octane offenses, we're at a 10-6 into the 3rd quarter. I expect we'll see some points on the board in the second half here.
Both defenses came to play. Definitely watch their game tape. But if you look on the stat sheet before you come into this game, Yorkville's really supposed to dominate this 3rd quarter.
Screen pass by Beetham will get some extra yardage. As that is complete, looks like that was to number 81, Brady Fisher, and that'll move the sticks, and that'll actually get them over midfield as they get into the Spartan side of the field at their own Spartan 46. 1st and 10 Foxes with 8:12 left in the 3rd quarter.
Probably going to try to pull a similar play style.
Beetham out of the shotgun. Pressure coming. Ball is dumped off, and it's picked off by number 44, Preston Road, who will roll it down the right side of the field. Let's see if he will make the end zone. And he is pushed out of bounds deep in Fox territory. Looks like it'll be inside the 5 as it's picked off and taken back short of the goal line, but about a 40-yard return. Huge momentum swing for the Spartans, and we'll see what they do here. First turnover of the game, and we'll see how the Fox defense will react to that.
Well, Beetham with a thrown interception. Beetham also with the tackle, so did not give up on the play, but that's, like you mentioned, huge momentum swing. Spartans really going to capitalize here as, well, they're just about undefeated when they can find instances like that to capitalize off of.
So it'll be first and goal from the Fox 5-yard line. And we'll see what the Spartans can do with their second possession. McConkey under center. Ball is handed off. And it goes right up the middle to number 32, Logan Egler, who will fall into the end zone for a 5-yard touchdown run.
Egler averaging 5 yards per carry so far, so talking to the numbers, destined for the end zone on that run, right up the middle, textbook football, bounced around into the goal line.
So the Spartans take a 12-10 lead as quarterback, also place kicker, McConkey comes on for the extra point. The kick is up and it's good. And with that extra point, the Foxes move to a 13-10 lead.
Well, just an overall great defensive heads-up play leading to a touchdown score. It's scary at the high school level when you're able to get away with running the same play multiple times down the field. This was not the case. Spartans stepping up, making a great defensive play. Interception, leading to a great return off the interception with only a 5-yard run to clean it up. The Spartans coming ahead 13-10.
Looked like Red was not fooled on that pass, and he saw it the whole way. He got it, ran down the right side of the field. It almost hit Pater for a pick six. Nonetheless, Spartans capitalize on the turnover and make it a 13-10 3-point game. McConkey will be set to kick off. Number 22, Zach Catula, back at his own 10-yard line, along with number 23, Torrin Harris, back at the 5. We'll see if the Foxes have an answer. Ball is squib kick. Looks like it's picked up about the 25-yard line up to the 30. Running to his right to the 35. And about the 38-yard line as that short kick was picked up and returned by number 24, Jake Paloe. And the Foxes will take over at their own 37-yard line, 1st and 10.
Credit where credit is due. Paloe listed as a linebacker. 6 foot, only 165. Not the biggest guy on the field. Still fought for those extra yards.
Yeah, I saw those legs churn. He was moving. So Beetham out of the shotgun. Fullback moves in. Ball's handed off to Torrin Harris, who runs to his right and is met by 3 Panther defenders, led by number 23, Griffin Nelson. He was one of the Spartan captains that came out for kickoff, and he looks like he's ready to play the second half.
Definitely. Spartans know that the Foxes love to put up a lot of points on the board in the second and third quarters here. The Spartans shine in the fourth, so if they can take it to them in the third, I think we might see a victory for the team in white.
Beetham out of the shotgun, looking deep, sets, dumps a pass over the middle, and we'll see if there's a flag there, as there was contact by number 2, Connor Smith. Pass intended for number 81, Brady Fisher. We'll see what the call is. Looks like that could be pass interference. We'll see what the official call here is in a moment.
I'd be surprised if that wasn't the call. Just came in a little bit too early, but we've seen that lockdown defense from Sycamore. Unfortunately, Connor Smith jumping the gun just a little bit and making contact too soon. He's playing both sides of the ball, by the way. Both one of the starting running backs in rotation, as well as a defensive back. So I only assume that some of the tiredness led to that mistake.
It very well could, as they'll still march off 15 yards for that. So that will put the Foxes on the Spartan side of the field, as it's 1st and 10 at the Spartan 49. Foxes playing with a short field yet again. Beetham out of the shotgun, Harris to his left, fades back, looks over the middle, and hits his wide receiver for extra yardage. Looks like he's going down to the 30, to the 10, as he's tackled down inside the 10-yard line to number 5, Brock Grimaldi. Looks like he'll be tackled about the 7-yard line. Huge gain for the Foxes. That was a 42-yard pass play, depending on where the ball is spotted.
Preston Rudd, in the first 5 yards, made contact on Grimaldi. Rudd is immediately cut and stepped. Grimaldi, for the Foxes, takes off through the secondary. Absolute fantastic route.
So
Beetham hits him.
Check that officially. It's 41 yards, and it's first and goal from the 8-yard line for the Foxes. The ball is pitched to Torrin Harris as he rolls to his right and gets inside the 5-yard line.
Flag on a late contact, if I'm correct. That's a personal foul.
That's a personal foul on the Foxes.
So I'm going to say it was probably on some of the late contact that occurred in the pile.
And that could be a drive killer with that'll move them back 15 yards.
First mistake on the Foxes tonight.
And that's a tough penalty because we saw Sycamore have a penalty like that in the first half, and that stalled their drive and moved them back. And they had to punt out of their own end zone now. I don't expect Yorkville to go back that far, but let's see if this will stall them, as it'll be first and goal again from the 23-yard line. So they're actually out of the red zone right now. Oh, I take it back. It's only going to be a 10-yard penalty. So it'll be second and goal from the 18 as they lose the down. Maybe that was 15 yards from the spot of the foul. Beetham out of the shotgun once again. Flush to his left. Drops a pass to the end zone. It'll be incomplete.
Pass incomplete. The intended for number 19.
Looks like that was number 19, Brian Missbagel, who was in the left corner of the end zone as that pass was just wide.
Scary moment. I understand that you've got a lot of faith in your wide receivers, but Beetham just letting it ride out to a place where I think there were more white jerseys than he would have preferred.
Well, it looks like I haven't seen number 4, Nico Madrano, the senior, so I'm wondering with him not in the game if that's making it much more difficult with the senior not available for passing options for Beetham. Probably his favorite target. Beetham out of the shotgun on 3rd and long. Aiming for number 81, Brady Fisher. That pass is incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th and long.
Gavin Crowfoot playing both sides of the ball as well for Sycamore. Wide receiver as well as defensive back on the coverage.
Excellent coverage there, and we'll see place kicker number 3, Cade Henry, come out. Looks like he'll be kicking from his own 25-yard line, so it looks like it'll be about a 35-yard field goal. We'll see if he can connect here to tie the game up at 13 apiece.
Not to jinx him, we did see him hit this while practicing at halftime.
Looks like the kick is good, and he will tie it up at 13 with that 35-yard field goal. And we are tied up at 13 apiece with 6:16 left in the 3rd quarter.
Well, tough drive, absolutely fantastic play, and the catch from Grimaldi heading down to the right side of the field there, and unfortunately came up empty. Two teams, both hard-hitting contact teams. So I can only assume that there were some words or an extra hit traded leading to the personal foul penalty, which, not that it's an excuse, but both teams clearly want to be here, clearly looking for the win.
Motion's running probably a little high there. That penalty stalled the drive, but they still got 3 out of it, and we are tied up with 6:16 left in the 3rd quarter as Cade Henry lines up for the kick. Looks like number 15, Gavin Crowfoot, and number 24, Manuel Dominguez, are back for the Spartans for the kick. Kick is deep, it'll go to Dominguez. He gets it at his own 10-yard line, goes up to the 15, where he is met there and will be tackled a yard or 2 past the 20-yard line. Looks like it'll be the 22-yard line where the Spartans will start 1st and 10.
Well, it's just another great opportunity for the Spartans. So far, they've definitely turned around the momentum, and I think they were running at a good 50-50, but with that 10-yard penalty to kill the drive, this is the Spartans' time to shine.
We'll see how the offenses react as McConkey starts out of the shotgun at 1st and 10. calls his own number. As he goes up the middle, is met by nothing but red jerseys for minimal gain. Looks like Nick Stemmet led the way as he's been in the backfield a ton this evening. He might get a handoff at this pace if he keeps getting in the backfield.
Well, he's got the eye, and anytime that you've got a, I had to get my thoughts together, I apologize. Anytime that you have a quarterback like McConkey, you've automatically got a stick at linebacker on him to make sure that
Need a spy.
he doesn't get out there. And that spy has been absolutely unstoppable. Stemmet found himself in the backfield. Like you mentioned, I think on his 5th or 6th time disrupting, he's already got 3 tackles for a loss.
So 2nd and 10. McConkey fades back. Looks like a one-handed catch by the wide receiver as he will go down the line to the 45 to the 45-yard line of the Foxes. There, he's tackled there at the 42-yard line. Huge gain. Looks like it's about a 30-yard gain for the Spartans there. Looks like it actually be spotted at the 42-yard line of the Yorkville Foxes. So huge gain there as we've seen some big plays. We just saw the Brock Grimaldi big play. Spartans answer right back with a big play of their own.
Joe Roberts accredited with the save on that open field tackle. Tough to bring down a lot of the Spartans. They're definitely a bigger team, but
big catch
from a touchdown.
Big catch for the Spartans, big yardage. So let's see if they'll get more chunks of yardage. As McConkey goes under center and hands off right up the middle to the fullback. Looks like he will grind forward for a 3 or 4 yard gain. That was number 32, Egler, the ball carrier. Looks like that's about a gain of 2. That'll be marked at the 39-yard line, so it'll be 2nd and 8 with 4.5 left in the 3rd quarter, tied at 13 apiece. Conkey out of the shotgun, running back to his left. Ball's pulled back by McConkey on the fake handoff, and he'll jump for a couple extra yards. Looks like he'll get to about the 35-yard line, and that should bring up about a 3rd and 4. And we'll see where they go from here on 3rd and short.
Winning ticket 043345. You can head on up to the press box to claim that winning ticket.
Substitutions here by the Spartans.
I was going to say, with a little extra thought into a play, you could only expect to see something different. So I'm assuming we're probably going to see McConkey try to go to the air on one of his 2 wide receivers wide. That hurts another keeper.
Keeper up the middle as he goes. He goes to his left, and he will get some yardage. Dekes a player, and will have enough for the first down as he is tackled there. Looks like it'll be enough for a first down as number 25, Cale Reeder, in on the stop to save that from being a big gain. But it'll still move the sticks for the Spartans once again as they will have 1st and 10 inside the Foxes' 35-yard line. Actually, inside the 30-yard line. Looks like it'll be spotted at the 28-yard line. So a big gain and a good sustained drive here by the Spartans.
I was going to say, play calling so far has been pretty on par with what we've seen in the past for the Spartans.
The shotgun. Conkey runs to his right. He's met by a bunch of red-shirted Foxes there. Looks like that was led by number 52, Jacob Pilasecki. And Lachurko. So minimal gain there.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10.
That's no gain, and it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 28-yard line. And we'll see, Evan, like you said, if they decide to go to the air. Although there hasn't been too much passing other than the one long pass we've seen, which is very successful, so would not be surprised to see if they'll dip into that bag of tricks again.
You've definitely seen that Yorkville has found what's really clicking with McConkey on the keepers.
They seem to have a solid rhythm going right there.
I'm surprised they don't pass it more. He does have an arm.
Dominguez in motion. McConkey rolls to his right and looks like he'll have an extra couple of yards to be able to get down the sideline. Looks like he will be close to the first down on that run.
Run down on the far side of the field.
The QB contained on the rollout is, it completely fell apart. The secondary panicked.
And it looks like he's short of the first down, but a big yardage pickup as it makes it 3rd and 1. And they are inside the red zone. I think this might be this is the second time they're in the red zone today, or excuse me, in the second half. So on 3rd and 1, the crowd is into this as they're cheering on the Foxes for a stand here. Let's see what McConkey does as he goes under center. Ball is snapped, and it's a fullback run, and the Foxes are not fooled at all as he is stopped, and it looks like that even might be for a loss of a yard or two.
You know, you made the joke earlier that if Stemick keeps getting into the backfield like that, he might just wind up taking the handoff. That's about as close to that as I've seen so far all game.
Yeah, the Foxes were not fooled on that, and that's a 2-yard loss, so it brings up 4th and 3 from the 21-yard line as they are now outside the red zone. Crowd into it, cheering the Foxes on. It's getting very loud here at Campbell Field with about a minute and a half left in the 3rd quarter. Looks like the Spartans will go for it. We'll see what they dial up here. McConkey rolls out, evaded some defense, and looks like he will be tackled for a loss, and there'll be a turnover on down as the Fox defense holds up. Fox pressure up the middle all over, various defenders, many defensive linemen in there, and that play was a bust from the beginning.
Giving that one to Stemmett again, driving through, breaks 2 blockers, and immediately makes contact with McConkey. This front line for the Yorkville Foxes has been absolutely unstoppable anytime McConkey tries to rush forward.
And a huge turnover on downs, so 1st and 10 at the 29. Beetham looks back and has the pass. It's a 50-50 ball. We'll see what the play is. If it's a complete pass, it looks like they're going to call a complete pass to Cole Ferguson, number 9, who did pull that in. It was very close. We almost wondered if a Spartan defender pulled it down. But they say it's complete to Cole Ferguson. That'll be a first down and move the chains for the Foxes, as it'll be 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. That's a 10-yard gain.
Yorkville feeling the momentum shift here.
We'll see if they can capitalize with about a minute left in the 3rd quarter, tied at 13. Beetham out of the shotgun, hands off to the fullback. Looks like he will gain a couple of yards there. Brandon Lee, minimal gain, maybe a gain of 2 or 3. Looks like tackle there was number 23, Griffin Nelson. We've been calling his name a lot from the defensive side for the Spartans as well.
He's got a catch today too, so a lot of guys going Iron Man.
30 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Beetham out of the shotgun. Harris to his left. Ball snap. Handed off to Harris, who goes to his left, cuts back to the middle. And looks like he will pick up a gain of 3 or 4. It will be tackled about the 46-yard line, bringing up a 3rd and short. That may be the last play of the 3rd quarter, as we're under 5 seconds here. And we will see many of the players lift up their right hand with the 4 fingers up as we will be going into the 4th quarter as this taffy pull is all tied up at 13 apiece. Yorkville Foxes 13, Sycamore Spartans 13. We'll be back with 4th quarter action after this. So the start of the fourth quarter, looks like the Sycamore Spartans got their 7 in the third quarter. The Foxes answered with 3 as well, and we go into the fourth quarter tied up at 13. With 12 minutes left, we'll see who is going to be the victor tonight. It'll be 3rd and 4 for the Foxes at their own 45-yard line. We'll see what they dial up here. Beetham out of the shotgun with Harris to his right. He dumps off a screen pass to Harris, who jukes a defender, eludes one. Doesn't look like he's going to have enough for the first down, as it's a pickup of maybe 2 yards. We'll see where the ball is spotted. And it will be a pickup of 2, as it's 4th and 2 from the 47-yard line. Decision time for the Foxes. Not sure if they're going to take any chances here. Looks like the special teams will come on, and they will be kicking.
Well, defense is certainly on a hot streak right now if you're looking at how the last few plays of the game have been going. So I wouldn't doubt the reliance on the Yorkville defense, as it's held pretty true so far over the last few drives, especially keeping the Spartans back near their own 20 to 30 would definitely be a pretty preferable field advantage.
Crowfoot back for the kick. Looks like it's going to take a Yorkville bounce, a high kick. Looks like it'll roll, and it'll stop about the 19-yard line, as it's down by number 2, Jeremy Conley, on the special teams there. So Sycamore will get their first start of the fourth quarter, and they will start out at their own 18-yard line. Looks like it'll be spotted at, and we will see what they have in the offensive playbook. You think they'll open it up a little bit here, seeing it's the fourth quarter, tight game. You can get the ball moving.
McConkey's taking a few hits. I'd be scared to go to the air immediately into this. This may end up badly.
He goes out of the shotgun and dumps a quick pass off. Looks like he'll get a couple of yard gain as he goes to the fullback, number 32, Logan Egler, to bring up, looks like 2nd and 7 from the 21-yard line.
McConkey probably on the play action here. Probably on the keeper, as I'd give or take 75% of the time, I'd say a rough estimate, McConkey takes the ball in the option.
Dominguez in motion. He gets the handoff and goes to his left. Breaks a tackle and is, looks like maybe pushed out of bounds. Looks like that was a minimal gain. Oh, he does actually stay in bounds, and the clock will keep running.
Well, so far, so good for the boys in red.
And it looks like that was a minimal 2-yard gain. So it's 3rd and 5 as the band is trying to get the crowd back into the 3rd and 5 for the Spartans. The faithful at Campbell Field are getting loud, and we'll see if Yorkville can hold right here once again. McConkey out of the shotgun, 3 wide receivers to his right, 1 to his left. He rolls out to his right, looking downfield. He has a wide open receiver, that's Justin Berlinski. Looks like he will go to the end zone for a big touchdown, a 77-yard play, as the Spartans answer with a huge touchdown, long touchdown play. Looks like there was some broken coverage there. And the Spartans take the lead once again at 19-13.
Great play call, but just a complete misread defensively. And we saw it really come back to bite them. Spartans utilizing what they normally do is big play-making opportunities in the fourth quarter, as we've seen in the last 3 games that they've had. Today, no different. Regardless of the opposition being a lot stronger of a defense, they're still able to utilize and capitalize on a big play opportunity.
Looks like they took full advantage of that. It's like number 13, Joshua Burns, be ready for the snap. Quarterback McConkey for the kick. Snap is high, but he gets it down, and the kick is through the uprights. So the point after is good. And the visiting Sycamore Spartans take a 7-point lead at 20-13 with 9:50 left in the fourth quarter. We will see what the Foxes have as an answer when they get the ball for the first time in the fourth quarter.
Just to go over a few points that we brought up in the pregame discussion, just how similar these two teams are. Sycamore has 150 points scored so far. Yorkville 154 on the season. 4-point difference there. Sycamore has only allowed 37 points. The Foxes of Yorkville only 41. The only difference is the lone loss that Sycamore has. But outside of that, when you look at point averages per game, 37.5 points per game to Yorkville's 38.5. I don't know that you can find two teams that are more evenly matched in IHSA.
And we've seen that type of game where it's been very close, back and forth. It's a little bit more dominated the first quarter by Sycamore and then a strong second quarter by Yorkville. But the third quarter, very close in scoring. And the fourth quarter has been very similar. So we'll see if Yorkville can answer here as McConkey tees off. Squib kick. Looks like it's down to about the 32-yard line by Yorkville. No chances there. Just smart play to down the ball and keep coverage on that. Looks like that was number 33, Trey Thomas. I take it back, that was number 18, Ben Stemmet, downing the ball and keeping Yorkville having possession of the ball, I should say. So it'll be 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line, and we will see if they have an answer for the Sycamore Spartan touchdown. Two wide receivers to the left, one to the right. Ball is pitched to Torrin Harris to his right. He will run to his right and has very minimal field to work with as he's pushed out of bounds and tackled. Looked like the Spartans were not fooled on that one at all.
Right down number 60, Hollingsworth.
Looks like that was number 60, Zachariah Hollingsworth with the tackle. We'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Well, Stemmet's out on the field now. I think that's probably a pretty good indication that they're going to try to go for a sweep, as they do enjoy his ability to block. But we also will probably see a pass here.
We do have trips to the left, so there's a good chance. One wide receiver to the right. Harris in the backfield along with Beetham. Out of the shotgun. He's looking to his right. He's pressured. He eludes pressure and runs to his right. Tries to throw a pass. Overshoots Torrin Harris, who was covered by the Spartan defender.
I've noticed when you see Fisher walk out, it doesn't automatically indicate a pass, but once you see Stemmet take position onto the field, almost guaranteed that they're going to try to airmail it. I wonder if
we might be looking at that on 3rd and long.
I think we're going to see a similar opportunity as I see both numbers currently on the field.
So 3rd and 10 from the 32. Foxes have triple wide receivers to the left, one to the right. Out of the shotgun. Looks like we got a Spartan to jump early there. Let's see if that'll be the call or if there was false start.
That's such a great read.
Looks like it'll be offsides. I think that's actually encroachment if there's contact, so that'll be 3rd and 5 for the Foxes. So it'll make it 3rd and short, if you will. So they'll have it at their own 37-yard line. Much easier to get 5 yards than 10 here. Beneficial for the Foxes with that penalty.
Regardless of a call with either Beetham or the offensive coordinator, way to read the defense and its jumpiness.
A delayed handoff up the middle to Harris. Doesn't look like he will have enough for the first down. Harris is claiming he had a face mask there, how he's tackled, but that will not be the call, and that'll bring up 4th down for the Foxes.
Such a tough call in a situation like that. Harris, a great athlete, but just doesn't quite have the size to make it through a secondary, especially with the linebackers that Sycamore are bringing to the table. Does look like they're going to try to punt. I wouldn't put it past Yorkville to try to pull a trick play here, but it would be very uncharacteristic.
So on 4th and short, they line up for the punt. Looks like it's Cole Reeby back to kick.
This is going to be probably a warning on the coaching staff.
A whistle, we'll see. It looks like Coach McGuire and the referee are having a conversation. We'll see what this one is about, if we can straighten it out.
Coach has definitely been vocal about a few calls.
So it looks like it is a sideline warning, and looks like the referee, the sideline referee, was adjudicating Coach McGuire on what that call was, and we'll have 4th and 4 as Reeby's back to kick. It's a fake, and they dump it off to the wide receiver, as you called. That's number 25, Kale Reeder, and they will get the first down as they pull out of the trick play, and they get the first down as Spartans were caught off guard. Excellent fake by the punter, Reeby, who looked like it went over his head. Pass to Reeder. I missed who threw the pass, but nonetheless, it is a Fox first down as they will move the ball to the Yorkville 38-yard line, where, the 47-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10.
Yorkville just doing what it does best. That's a play right out of the 2017 playbook to success. Great call.
Harris to his right. He breaks through to the 50, to the 45, down to the 40, where he is tackled about the 37-yard line. Big gain, a huge chunk of yard for Harris. And the Foxes are in business on the Spartan side of the field at the 38-yard line. 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line of the Spartans. So a huge momentum shift for the Foxes at home. We'll see if they can capitalize as they continue to keep this drive moving forward.
I could not agree more with the play calling so far. Absolutely top-notch, knowing exactly where the defense isn't.
Ball's dropped. Looks like there's a problem with the exchange. Harris shifts around. It looks like he might get back to the line of scrimmage. It looks like Beetham dropped the ball. There is a flag on the field. That might actually just be a spot for where the ball was dropped. Harris was able to pick it up and gain about a yard maybe. So disaster averted right there, as it could have been a turnover, and it ends up being 2nd and 9 for the Foxes. So luck is on the Fox side right now, as they'll have the ball 2nd and 9 at their 37-yard line. And we'll continue this drive.
Always like to point out the comedic moments. The two juniors who don't have a lot of experience on the field both looked at each other, a bit of a panic, calmed down. Harris made a great run, still picked up a yard.
Beetham out of the shotgun, looks for his wide receiver, who makes the catch and will go down the sidelines. He will bring it to the end zone. That is a touchdown. That is a touchdown, number 10, Nick Stemmet. He's been causing defensive havoc all night, and now he takes one 37-yard down the right sideline for a Yorkville touchdown, which will bring him within 1.
Well, I'll say it. I think the pass was intended for Spartans number 11, Kyle Antos, right on target. But the Foxes making a great move, pushing inside. That side of aggressiveness and a great timing as to not get the interference call. Wonderful offensive movement and so-so pass, but great power, great on target. Overall, wonderful play, touchdown, well-deserved.
The extra point by Kate Henry is up and good. We are tied at 20 apiece with 6:48 left in the 4th quarter. Hopefully you're tuning in. We got a barn burner going on this evening here at Campbell Field. Crowd is into it, band's going. This is exciting football.
I'm going to expect at least one more touchdown out of both teams. I think that both of them just look way too good right now. Yorkville overall averages 38 points per game, as opposed to the Sycamore Spartans averaging a 37.5. Both teams look good with an average of 14 points on average in the 4th quarter. So if you look at the numbers, this is just it's just going to continue to be a very exciting matchup.
We expected to see the offenses show up in the second half, and we've been treated to nothing but offense in the second half. Some solid defense as well, but the offensive's stealing the showcase so far. So Kate Henry will tee the ball up at the 40-yard line. The Campbell Field faithful in this, and the ball is kicked. It's more of a pooch kick. Looks like it'll be picked up at the 27-yard line by number 4, Brock Alexander, who runs and will get about 7-8 yards. It looks like he'll bring it up to about the 35-yard line, where the Spartans will take over with 6:41 left in the game. So back-to-back touchdowns, and I don't think we've seen the last of the scoring, so we will see what the last 6.5 minutes or so bring, as it's been exciting all evening. The second half even more exciting than the first.
Someone's going to have to make a statement here. This is going to get crazy intense and crazy loud here in Campbell Field.
McConkey out of the shotgun, calls his own number, runs to his left, eludes one tackler, and then is met by 4 Foxes as he's taken down right there. Looks like that was Josh Slavin on the tackle, as well as LaChurko.
The initial contact from LaChurko
like
really
that-
took him off his feet.
Looks like that's about a gain of 3, so it'll be 2nd and 7 from the 39-yard line for the Spartans.
The moment that secondary can free up and doesn't have to focus so much on the spy is the moment that the pass game for the Spartans goes out the window. I wonder if they're trying to utilize LaChurko on the punch through.
On the end around to number 24, Dominguez. He keeps his feet going as he will go down to the 35-yard line of the Foxes. But there is a yellow flag on the field, so we will see what the call is. Maybe that's holding from where that flag landed. We'll see what the call is.
Well, I could probably tell it's on the Spartans considering the animation of the coach.
Yep, and you are correct. It is holding, and that's a costly penalty because a big pickup for the Spartans. They will be moved back. Let's see if that'll be from the spot of the foul to the line of scrimmage. Nonetheless, that'll move this drive back a bit. Let's see where they mark the ball.
One of the young guns, Robert Malin, 6'7", 274, has really held his defender. I'm sorry, I should rephrase that. Has really kept his defender in front of him at all times during the game, and I think with the one break there, went into a panic mode and just grabbed a little bit too much jersey on the grab. It's a very simple mistake, normally goes uncalled, but it was just in the open field. That's really where it came back to bite him.
So with that 10-yard holding penalty from the mark of where the holding occurred, will actually make it 2nd and 6, so not as bad as the Spartans thought it would be, but they sure would have liked that gain to get on the other side of midfield. So we will see what they dial up on 2nd and 6 from their own 40-yard line. Fox is in their 4-4-3 defense, looking for a stop here. McConkey out of the shotgun, calls his own number, runs to his left, will get some yards. Looks like he'll have enough yards for the first down and will actually get over midfield.
McConkey had something else on that play, not normally picking up a lot of yards post initial contact, but took 3 red jerseys for a ride on that one. He had something to prove.
And that gets the Spartans over midfield as they will have the ball 1st and 10 at the Fox 49-yard line.
Fairly quick game so far, only coming up on 9:30. Both teams have probably been gassed as they've utilized a lot of running.
McConkey calls his own number again. He runs right up the middle. Looks like he will have maybe enough yardage for the first down as that fake handoff to Egler seemed to hold the defense just for a second, enough for him to be able to slide through up the middle.
Well, chip on the shoulder, I think out of fear of his strong pass play, they've moved Stemmet over to the right side to play more of his linebacker position instead of the spy they had on McConkey to start with. I think they were relying a little bit more on the front line, and McConkey's really lowered the shoulder and made it into the secondary on almost every play.
With that 10-yard gain by McConkey, it'll be 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line, tied up at 20 with 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Dominguez crosses, and actually McConkey pulls the ball back and calls his own number yet again. Down the left sideline of the field, he might have enough for a first down yet again.
McConkey so far in the 4th quarter is averaging about 10 yards per carry.
McConkey picking up big chunks of yardage and keeping the drive going. It looks like that's about a 12-yard gain. But that'll move them to the Fox 27-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Spartans yet again.
Well, you know what they say, if you want something done right, you just got to do it yourself. And McConkey's certainly taking that one to heart with a chip on his shoulder, and he has ran through this Fox's front line.
3 seconds.
Looks like there's an official timeout as they are resetting the clock to 4:49 as it was at 4:46. So now at 4:49 left in the game, 1st and 10 from the Fox's 27. McConkey calls his number and runs to the left, and he will get almost enough yards for the first down yet again, as it's been the McConkey show here as Grant McConkey's been running wild to his left, and the Foxes do not have an answer at the moment for it, as it'll bring up 2nd and short, looks like. As they're Go ahead,
I'm
please.
sorry there. I was going to say, I think a timeout needs to be called yesterday on this one for the Foxes.
It looks like the Foxes are a little gassed there as they have it in the red zone once again. Ball is handed off to Egler up the middle. He should have enough for the first down. That'll move the sticks once again for the Spartans. We'll see where that is marked. LaChurco on the stop there for the Foxes as well.
If Yorkville can rally together and really put together goal line defense stop here, that might be it. I think McConkey's leaving everything he has left on the field with 4 minutes left to go. That could be dangerous.
So Spartans are down to the Foxes' 14-yard line. And we'll see what the play call will be here as McConkey goes under center with 2 running backs in the backfield. Pressure from the Foxes. They run outside to the right. And a great, could be a touchdown-saving tackle there by the arm. I missed who that was. That might have been number 10, Nick Stemmett, yet again, as he's been all over on the defense there. That was Connor Smith with the run. Looks like that was a gain of 4. We'll bring up 2nd and 6 at the 10-yard line.
Well, slow trot out, so you know there's a pretty good chance they might try to go to the air on this one.
So they have 1 wide receiver to the right, 2 to the left. 2 running backs out of the shotgun. Looks like there was some early movement, and we'll see if that is a false start or if that is offsides. With the whistles early in the stoppage of play, I suspect it'll be false start, and that's exactly what the call is. Costly penalty for the Spartans, and that'll move them back 5. It'll be 2nd and 11 from the Fox 15-yard line. As we see the call from the referee, false start.
Well, normally I would say that might be a momentum killer, but McConkey averaging, give or take, 8 to 10 yards per carry so far this drive.
Campbell Field crowd into this as it's 2nd and 11 from the 15-yard line. McConkey out of the shotgun, puts a runner in motion. Ball's handed off. He calls his own number and runs out to the left. He eludes a defender and is tackled for a short gain. Nick Stemmett with the stop. He's pretty much been, if we see number 5 running the ball, we see number 10 tackling him with the red shirt, as that's been a very common theme all evening. Looks like McConkey will pick up about 5 yards, and there'll be a timeout before this 3rd down play, as the Foxes need a big stop here with 2:27 left in the game, tied up at 20.
Well, much needed. If there's going to be a defense that can do it, it's certainly going to be the Foxes, but somewhere in this drive, they kind of forgot the game plan of keep an eye on McConkey and that option. As so far, we have not seen a lot of Dominguez, as much as at least we thought. Dominguez coming in, 6 foot, 180. He is a junior. I'm sorry, he's a sophomore, so he's young into the game. But he is a power fullback if I've ever seen one. But yet they still continue to go with McConkey on their drive, possibly risking their star quarterback.
Well, and the read option's been very good for them, and McConkey's been executing it very well, especially when he's been running to the strong side of his line, which has been the left side, as they've been road grading all evening. And we'll see if the Foxes can maybe stack their right side of the line to see if they can stop this 3rd down and hold the Spartans to a field goal or no score at all.
This is going to be a chess match if I've ever seen one, for sure. And both these coaches see some things that we can't see up here. We're going to see which one can pull out the wits.
McConkey out of the shotgun, runs to his right this time and pitches off as the ball's loose and picked up. Oh, disaster could have been caused there as number 2, Connor Smith, is able to fall on it and save it, and at least save the drive. Looks like there will be minimal gain short of the 1st down. That'll be another timeout. That's the 2nd Fox timeout, so they will be left with only 1 timeout.
Well, like I said, with 2 minutes left, the amount of running and contact that McConkey has taken, and the really just putting himself out there lowering the shoulders, so it's not like he's taking soft hits or sliding, stepping out of bounds. He has taken full contact. I would be very worried if I'm in a white jersey what he's going to bring to the table if you do get the opportunity to drive again. I think Yorkville makes a stop here. Their offense is going to be the decider of the game, because I don't know that there's going to be another opportunity for the jersey or for the white jerseys.
Well, they'll have to hold him here, and it'll be interesting to see what the Spartan call will be. Will they bring out the special teams and go for the 3 points? Will they go for it on 4th and 1? Lots of questions here, and if you're in the Yorkville defense, you're figuring that they're going to go on 4th and 1 and they're going to go for the first down and not bring out the field goal unit. But I guess it's the moment of truth we will see right now. It looks like the offense is coming out.
If it's Yorkville, I'm going to kick it because I know I have a solid kicker. But right now, if you're Sycamore, you got to remember that your kicker is the same guy who's just been abused the last 6 runs.
And you're on the road. This is your best chance. You want to go for it. So we'll see as the crowd's in here with 2:19 left. Tied up at 20. Grant McConkey out of the shotgun. Ball snap. He hands off to number 32, Egler, who's dropped, and we're not sure if he's got enough for the first down. We'll see where that's called. Oh, actually, the ball is loose. I take it back. The ball is loose. The ball was stripped. I'm not sure who got it, but it looks like that is a turnover, and a huge, costly turnover for the Spartans, as it is first down Yorkville. A huge change of events here.
Watching tonight, that was the play of the Friday night lights that we've seen here in Illinois.
By far the play of the game, and a huge momentum shift. So with 2 minutes and 9 seconds left, the Foxes take over 1st and 10 at their own 5-yard line, and they'll see if they can march down to get in position to be able to put a score up before this game possibly goes into overtime.
Egler, a young gun junior, just didn't have it on the run.
Ball handoff up the middle to Harris. He bounces off a tackler and gets out. Looks like about a pickup of 7 there. Maybe out to the 11, 12-yard line. We'll see where that ball is marked as we're under 2 minutes left in the game here at Campbell Field. That was a gain of 7, so it'll be 2nd and 3 from the 12-yard line. It's a 2-minute offense in for the Foxes. The shotgun, the ball is handed off again, right up the middle. Looks like that's minimal gain for the Foxes, and it'll bring up 3rd and short.
Interesting play calling so far, going to Harris up the middle, which we've had, a few criticisms over the game so far, just about his size and trying to power through that first and then secondary. I think we've got to go to the air, but there's so much risk in that if you're Yorkville. But they've only got 1 timeout left. We do got to keep that in mind.
And they have the 3 running backs set as they hand off to Harris once again. He breaks a tackle and he'll go forward. It looks like he will have about a pickup of about 4 yards. And maybe Yorkville's thinking they'll just play for overtime at this pace. They don't seem to have an expeditious approach to them, as there's about a little over a minute left, and it's 2nd and 5 from their own 20-yard line with Harris in the backfield. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ball snap. Beethan looking to his left. He dumps it off to Harris. Looks like he will get out of bounds and maybe have enough for the first down with 54.1 seconds left in the game.
See the frustration on a few of the captains on that white squad, on the white jersey squad. Spartans struggling a little bit to cover that secondary, but we just saw Harris wrap around the corner, do what he does best, catch the ball, break through. He had a good 10 yards after the initial contact.
Yeah, the utilization of his speed really helped there as it's 1st and 10 at the 30 with 54.1 seconds left in regulation. Looks like there's pressure from the Spartans. Beethan dumps the ball off to Harris, who gets it to the 40, goes to the 45. Looks like he will get out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Another big gain as he is out of bounds at the Yorkville 49-yard line with 46.7 seconds left. And Yorkville is on the move as they seem kind of complacent when they were deep in their own end zone. They've moved down, and with about 47 seconds left in regulation. They're starting to move the ball here. And it looks like there's a timeout by the Spartans, as that's their first timeout. As Campbell Field is electric at the moment.
Clock's already stopped. You got nothing to risk calling the timeout. Good call by the Spartans to really step up and play the bigger man football, I guess, to call the timeout. Coach knows that they're kind of in panic mode because no one has more to prove right now than Torrin Harris. Stepping in for who we believe the injured Jake Brooks, has tried to play the Brooks game of running up the middle, and that's kind of been a difficult way to play football for the Foxes. We've seen a few plays where it's either a pitch, he's just straight up taking the run, or in that case a pass, in which you're looking at 10, 15, 20 plus yards due to his speed on the outside. Expect to see that in the next few plays.
Shotgun snap, 3 guys to the right. Pass is dumped off to Harris. Spartans are not fooled on that one as they drop him quickly. It looks like that was maybe about a gain of 1 or maybe a loss of a yard.
Well, like I mentioned, Harris, obviously the man to go for right now, is really hot right now, but to run that play over and over again, Spartans are going to be ready for it. You've got to be proactive rather than reactive in cases like that. I think that was probably a dump call from the quarterback.
Well, and I think the Spartans made a wise choice by calling that timeout. It looked like their defense was a little gas on that previous play when Harris got out of bounds at the 49. They called their play. They kind of caught their breath. They settled down. They kind of got back to level, if you will. And on that screenplay, they weren't fooled as they stopped Harris. And now it's 2nd and 11 from the Yorkville 48-yard line with 41 seconds left. So we'll see what they have here as they have 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left, beat them out of the shotgun. Spartans pressuring that line as they drop back. Pressure is almost picked off by number 9, Jake Siegel, causing havoc. It'll be 3rd and 11.
Second play in a row that Beetham has just hesitated a little bit too much on an open wide receiver and came up empty on that one. He's lucky it wasn't an incomplete pass.
And that could have been a costly interception, too, because that would still be on their side of the field. Give the Spartans a couple of plays to be able to get into field goal range.
This is such a gutsy call. I assume they're going for the pass, which just has been unreliable, but I don't think that Harris has it in him to make it all 11 yards for the first down. This is make or break time.
Spread set, 3rd and 11 from the 48-yard line. Spartans bring pressure. Beetham dumps it off to his wide receiver. Number 5, Brock Grimaldi, who gets hit and tries to bully himself a little further, but looks like he's going to end up a little bit short as he gets pushed out of bounds, and we'll see where that ball is marked.
So Brock Alexander with the more of a push, I would say, than a tackle to kind of dominate that. That's where he wanted forward progress to occur. So it's smart heads-up play. So
it's 4th and 3 from the Spartan 44. Foxes bring the special teams out. I don't know if we'll see any type of trickeration here, but we did see it earlier. Looks like number 15, Gavin Crowfoot, goes back. Ball is snapped. Punt is low. Takes a Yorkville roll as it rolls down to about the 14-yard line where the Foxes will down it. And we'll see what the Spartans have with 21.4 seconds left, tied up at 20. Super exciting game, exciting second half, lots of scoring in the second half, much more open playbooks. And we will see if what will happen in the next 20 plus seconds here, or if we will go into overtime and see some free football tonight, right?
Oh, yeah, like you mentioned at the start of the drive, it definitely seems like Yorkville's playing the long-term game here, because I wouldn't have punted it in that situation. You know, I'm on the couch playing Madden. I'm going for broke, but he knows the limitations best on his team. You can see the coaches all in their white caps on the screen, bottom right-hand corner. They're all consolidating each other. You know, the conversation is occurring here of what they need to do, and Spartans are going to match the Yorkville game plan. We're going to go to OT, and I assume that was in part to just force OT. And also because Grant McConkey has just been brutalized the last few plays of their last drive.
So the horn sounds. It's 20-20. We're tied at regulation. There will be a quick break, and then we will go to overtime with the score, the Sycamore Spartans 20, the Yorkville Foxes 20. We'll be right back for overtime action. So we will be going into overtime. Thank you for tuning in to Fox Valley Television on a Friday night here at Campbell Field. There's about a 2-minute intermission before we start overtime, where we've had an exciting second half where the Yorkville Foxes and the Sycamore Spartans have played to a 20-20 tie with lots of offense in the second half. Evan, thoughts on the second half?
I mean, overall, it was pretty much what we expected. Both teams had kind of laid dormant in the third quarter, but really explode in the fourth. And we saw that with the one score apiece, which I thought was a shock, at least on paper. But overall, we're seeing the type of football game that we thought we would. These two teams are just so well overly matched in everything but record. Sycamore, the only team on the football field right now with a loss. Yorkville, undefeated so far, 4-0, trying to keep it that way.
So with a quick recap of the scoring, Sycamore scored early to take a 6-0 lead. Yorkville put 10 unanswered points up in the second quarter, and we went in halftime with Yorkville leading 10-6. A touchdown by Sycamore, which made it 13-10, and then a field goal that tied it up at the end of 3 quarters at 13 apiece. Each team scored in the fourth quarter a touchdown apiece on both big plays, a 37-yard touchdown play for the Foxes and a 77-yard touchdown pass for the Spartans, tied the game up at 20 apiece, and that's where we stand at the moment as we go into overtime football.
Right now, this win for either team could mean a lot. Sycamore wins, then they will be 4-1. Same with the Yorkville Foxes, so they'll be tied in the Big 12 Conference. Yorkville comes out of here with a win. Right now, DeKalb is facing off against Canelan. Score there, 21-20 in favor of DeKalb. So far, with a DeKalb loss and a Yorkville win, Yorkville will be the sole owner of the Big 12 so far, for the first time since 2014. But if DeKalb wins, they'll be tied for the lead so far, and Sycamore will drop to 4th in the league. So a lot on the table for both teams to try to get a victory.
It will be down in distance. The ball will be placed, and each team will have an opportunity.
So Yorkville will bring a captain out. Sycamore will bring a captain out for the overtime coin toss. We will see what the call is in a moment once the coin is flipped. Once again, game tied at 20 apiece going into overtime.
21-20 Canelan. 5 minutes left to play against DeKalb. That came in about 10 minutes ago, so we'll have an update since then.
We will see who has the ball first and how they will respond. Both offenses have been showcased in the second half. We will see if that will be the continued theme in overtime here.
Sycamore won the toss.
Looks like Sycamore won the toss, and they will defend the south end zone. Yorkville will defend the north end zone. So
if I'm correct, now I may be mistaken. I'm used to college ball, but the ball will be placed. There'll be no time on the clock.
There'll be no time on the clock.
4 downs to score. And I may be mistaken, but then Yorkville will get an opportunity as well.
Correct. Yeah, so they will. Looks like Yorkville will be on offense first, and the Sycamore Spartans will be on defense. So the ball will be spotted at the 10-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Foxes, as the crowd is electric here. 3 running back set, Beetham under center. Ball is pitched to Torrin Harris. He runs to his right. He might be able to turn the corner. He dives in, and we'll see if that's a touchdown. And by the screaming of the crowd, I am pretty sure he broke the plane, and that is a touchdown. We will see what the call is. Speed. It's all about speed for him, and he was able to turn the corner. Great blocking to the right, and that is pay dirt. So at the moment, we have 26-20. The Foxes take the lead.
I don't mean to question the great coaching staff of Yorkville, but if they only utilized that play earlier, this would be a much different game. As we knew Harris is such an athlete, finally able to utilize him how they wanted.
Very important extra point by Cade Henry. Splits the uprights, and Yorkville answers in one play to take a 27-20 lead. So the Sycamore Spartans on the road tie the game and go to regulation, or go into regulation, go into overtime, and now it's their turn to see if in 4 downs they can respond as well, and we'll see what happens here.
Here's where I'm nervous. Yorkville has a great defense, but they have dropped the ball on a few occasional plays with the option from McConkey. But Spartans have kind of an unsure kicker for the PAT. This is going to be interesting.
McConkey up the middle as he runs in relatively unmolested for a touchdown. That was quick response. And now it is 27-26. The Foxes are up 1. And now comes the extra point. And we'll see how that will play out with McConkey being the place kicker as well as the quarterback. We'll see if he can tie the game up, and there will be a second overtime.
So McConkey's getting the play call. I'm sorry. I ran over to the coach. I expected him to step off the field. He did look like he got shaken up.
And we'll see if they're going to go for 2 or if they're going to go for the extra point, as they have not broken the huddle. It looks like they might be going for 2. So Sycamore deciding to go for the win on this play. We will see what happens here as McConkey's under center. Ball is snapped. He rolls out to his left. He dumps a pass off, and it's caught, but there is a flag on the field. It looks like the Spartans have just scored the game-winning 2-point conversion. There's a penalty marker on the Foxes, and it's personal foul on the Foxes, so that's going to negate it either way. The 2-point conversion is good, and the Sycamore Spartans come into Campbell Field and win on a 2-point conversion, 28-27. A heartbreaking loss for the Yorkville Foxes at home at Campbell Field this evening. Wonderful game, great excitement, end-to-end action. Such a shame this game has to end this way.
It's nothing to be ashamed of. Beetham, the quarterback for Yorkville, a great performance. Now, granted, on both sides of the ball, there's obviously a few things that you can go to practice to learn and figure out, but we saw 2 absolutely stunning offenses here on the field today. Definitely got your money's worth here, although I'm sure if you're a Yorkville fan, you wish for a different outcome. This is just overall great football on both sides. Nothing to complain about on either side.
I completely agree with you, Evan. Thank you for sitting in for Jim Gibbons, who wasn't here today. Thank you to our staff. We will be back at Fox Valley Television on October 5th from Plano, where the Plano Reapers will take on Sandwich. Thank you for tuning in to Fox Valley Television. Have a great weekend.